Get to have your phones palm silent, please.
But they don't accept that.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر.
أذان رمضان إن شاء الله.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
حي على الفلاح.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
حي على الفلاح.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر.
الله أكبر الله أكبر.
لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. صليت على إبراهيم وإبراهيم حميد مجيد. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق حديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد فأوصيكم أيها الناس ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل واشكروه للنعم. وهذه النعم كثيرة ولكن الشكر الذي نعطيه إلى الله ولنعمة الدين ونعمة قبوله ونعمة الحياة ونعمة الرزق وغير تلك. ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى للزيادة في الدنيا والآخرة والثبات على دينه والصحة وتأييد يعني عبادة وليصلي ونسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام فقد إن محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم قد بلغ الرسالة وأدى أمانة ونصح الأمة وتركنا على محاجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا حالك فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله الطاهرين وعلى سائر الصحابة أجمعين وعلى التابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد فأيها الناس Look at us. In these current times, we see plenty of which we have not seen before. The shift of mankind has turned towards the worst as mankind toils towards self-destruction. Indeed, wickedness has increased. Morals appear to be depleted. And darkness is spreading as the light of the sun is still bright. However, its darkness is unable to penetrate or rather overcome this emitting, spreading darkness. However, within the light of this darkness, there's a mirage. The people start to see an horizon. In the pits of darkness, there's a huge glare that is inside of it. The people notice that there's some people doing strange things. As rice is being purchased off the shelves, dates are sold out. A Qamruddin gets heavily desired, and the thirst of performing righteous actions exceeds bounds which we have never seen before. For those people who have such descriptions, they are waiting for their guest. They are waiting for this annual guest that is known to bring tremendous gifts. Gifts that are not materialistic. Not the ones which market analysts can measure. Not the gifts that are exchanged for currency. And not the gifts that fulfill the greed for physical attraction. But rather, these gifts are the real investment. The real investment. The investment for one's heart. The investment for one's tongue. The investment for one's righteous actions. Within all this investment, Ya ibadallah, the successful slave shall see it, and it shall be a benefit in a way it means for him to get to the eternal bliss. For those who do not care, or do not even know, or do not realize, they look to these people who yearn to have their guests arrive just as glowing light in a pitch dark valley. They say to their party and amongst themselves, what the heck is going on? Why are these people acting as such? Is there some type of party going on that we don't know about? Why are they like that? We say to them, perhaps y'all should come and join. Y'all should come and join. And if you have not figured it out by now, know that our guest is on the way. Within a few hours, as we hate to see this current guest go, however, we are superseded by having this special guest come to us. So to answer, who is this guest? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the answer. As he says in his book, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. Naam ya ibadallah. Allah Azza wa Jalla says that this special guest is what? Is who? Shahr Ramadan. The month in which the Quran was sent down as a guide for mankind. Clear signs for amongst the guidance. And the Furqan being so much the criterion. Naam ya ibadallah. So as we check off the days within the calendar, the Muslims check on each other and ask them, are you ready? Are you ready? For indeed, what is to come is the answer that which we ask Al-Hayyul Qayyum. 6 months or perhaps more than that. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us to reach it. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is blessing us with this ijabah. Naam ya ibadallah. So now, as for the history and what in the background of what is meant so much within Ramadan, the word Ramadan itself, ya ibadallah, what is meant so much by Ramadan Ramadan linguistically? Linguistically, it means scorching extreme heat. Linguistically, Ramadan, it means scorching extreme heat. And for my Arabic buffs, okay, those who really love to read about Arabic and really study so much of Arabic, notice that the word Ramadan is upon al-wazn fi'lan. Fi'lan. Which is sighatul mubalagha, which means like the utmost, okay? So it's so much, which is telling us how that is extreme heat. As in when the Ramadan so much came, it was at the time of extreme heat, at the times of extreme heat. And also, it has been reported from Abdullah bin Abbas, radiallahu anhuma, and also the likes of the Salaf from Ibn Mas'ud and others. They said that so much that fasting dates back to the time of Nuh alayhi salam. However, at that time in which the Ramadan so much came about, our pious Salaf had to fast 3 days. 3 days. It was incumbent upon them to fast 3 days out of each month. And the day of Ashura, it was obligatory. They had to fast a month for Ashura. But however, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He abrogated this act and ordained Ramadan to where they had the choice of fasting, or if they wish, they could break their fast or feed poor people. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, but if you fast, it is better for you. But at that time, they had the choice. Then after a period of time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abrogated this act of choice for fasting and said to whoever so much witnesses, whoever is a healthy resident, they let him or her fast. No longer so much was it a choice. It was so much ordained for them to do. فَمَنْ شَهَرَ مِنْكُمْ شَهْرًا فَلْيَصُمْهُ. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so much mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah. Whoever so much witnesses the month, then let him so much fast. He has to fast. Now, as for the term of siyam, what is meant by the term of siyam, fasting? Linguistically, it means al-habs or imsak. It means so much withhold, or there's so much to engulf and to change within. Linguistically, it means to leave off food, drink, and intercourse among spouses. So in the beginning of Islam, Ibn Kathir rahmatullah alayhi so much mentioned that when the fasting day was over and Muslims broke their fast, Muslims were allowed to enjoy eating, drinking, and having sexual intercourse with their wives only until the time of Isha. Only until the time of Isha. So between Maghrib or Isha, that was the time of breaking fast when it first came out, when Ramadan was so much ordained. Or up until so much he slept. At that time, if a Muslim slept after breaking fast or performed the Isha prayer, khalas, it was over. He was prohibited to eat, drink, or have sexual intercourse until the day of breaking fasting of the next day. So up until so much he was able to break his fast the next day. Okay, he had to wait from the time of Isha up until Maghrib the next day. He had to fast. Thus, the Muslims experienced great difficulty in fasting until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so much revealed أُحِلَّ لَكُمُ اللَّيْلَةُ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى النِّسَاءِ. Up until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has so much revealed the words that rafath, the intercourse, is so much been prohibited and been permissible for you, the night of Siyam, in which you could go to your wives. This revelation of this verse caused great happiness, as Ibn Kathir he so much mentions. He says, as they were permitted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to eat, drink, and have sexual intercourse at the time of night, throughout the night, up until daybreak, up until Fajr, until the white thread of dawn became distinct from the black thread of the night. Intaha kalamuhu rahmatullahi alayhi. Naam ya ibadallah. So verily, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for these allowances. Because before, as we so much mentioned, that it was between Maghrib until Isha that you were able to so much fast. But however, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has so much abrogated that. It made it easy for us to do so much fast. So we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us to reach the next few hours in which we honor our guests. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون فمن شهر منكم شهرا فليصوم وإن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفع وإياكم من بيان وذكر حكيم. قد قلت ما قلت إن صواب فمن الله ومن خطأ فمن نفسي والشيطان واستغفر الله فاستغفروه إنه هو غفور رحيم. الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وبعد. أما بعد فأيها الناس, note indeed the main goal of the upcoming month, Ya Ibadallah, okay, it's not for free food, not to give free water, not to so much give charity, but however the main purpose of this month is, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so much made it clear, is so that you can obtain piety. So you can obtain piety. For this piety is obtained by performing the fasting as a way of serving the Prophet ﷺ and his righteous companions, as someone did it. And as Abdurrahman bin Sa'di and others from the ulama, they said fasting is from the utmost ways of piety, because it's compliance to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded. And it's abstinence from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so much to abstain that from that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has so much prohibited. The fasting person leaves off what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited upon him from drink, food, intercourse, and the likes of such, which his soul and the likes of things that which so much his soul inclines to. For the fasting person, he trains his soul upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so much watches him. So he leaves off what his soul desires and what he's able to so much do. So he fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the best of his ability. Know that the fasting compresses the blood pathways. And as Allah's Messenger so much mentioned, that the shaitan is a shaitan that's within every single one of us. And he runs through us as so much the blood runs through the veins. And so while the slave is so much fasting, he compresses these blood paths, and he's increasing upon obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All these characteristics in which the person will obtain piety. Now, ya ayyuhal Muslim. So throughout this upcoming month, take advantage of the shaitan being locked in chains. Take advantage of that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of the gates of the hellfire being locked, while the gates of paradise are open. Aside from fulfilling those actions, those matters that are obligatory upon you, adopt this beloved act that some of you, perhaps, mashallah, you have already been doing that. Perhaps now some of you, perhaps a lot of you, have allowed for the dust to be collected on it. You have allowed for the dust so much to be collected upon it. But now so much adopt this. And this is what? Brush off the dust. Brush off the dust and recite the book of Allah. Recite the book of Allah. As Jibreel alayhi salam, he so much mentioned, it was mentioned upon Abu Hurairah, as he reported that Jibreel alayhi salam, he used to come to the Prophet alayhi salatu salam and review the Quran with him once throughout the year, one time throughout the year. But however, alayhi salatu salam, when he so much died, Jibreel alayhi salam, he came and he reviewed the Quran with him twice. Now, ya ibadallah. So as a personal advice, I would like to so much give to you. Why are you so much going through the book of Allah? Why are you going through so much the book of Allah? Take note of certain verses that you like, those verses that so much stick out to you, and keep the tafsir of Ibn Kathir right by you. Keep tafsir of Ibn Kathir right by you, as it's on the internet in English. Or you could come right to the message as we have it available right here in English. right here in English, and research so much the verse that you're looking at. So that way you can increase in knowledge. And it to so much conclude, Sheikh Fawzan, Hafidullah Ta'ala, he so much gives us an advice. He says, Rahmatullah alayhi, he says that let the Muslim be happy so much with the entrance of Ramadan, and so much welcome it, and spread out the congratulations when Ramadan so much comes in, by so much performing righteous acts to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and so much reciting the book of Allah, and also within dhikr. Those are what show things that so much going to benefit you. He also mentions Hafidullah Ta'ala, as so much it has reached me a couple years ago, okay, that there was some khilaf amongst the ulama, where they said that so much if one imam during the time of Tarawih, he's to go above 11 rak'at, then they some of the ulama, they so much said that this was a bid'ah. So, وعلامة الفوزان Hafidullah Ta'ala, he so much mentioned, he said, look, listen, that there is khilaf amongst the ulama within this mas'ala. So if the imam goes above 23, it goes above 11 rak'ah, this is not a bid'ah. He said this is not a bid'ah. Okay? He said, but rather so much the statement within itself saying that the one who stops at 11 rak'ah, that within itself so much is a bid'ah. That's how much he was upset about that. That's how much he was upset. So noted indeed that the Prophet, when he so much mentioned about the Tarawih prayer, he didn't so much give al-had, he didn't so much give a limit. Even though Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, so much mentioned that the Prophet did not go above 11 rak'ahs. However, as an explanation, Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, Khalifa al-Rashid, he so much did this in Masjid Nabawi. He did 23 rak'ahs in Masjid Nabawi. Okay? To show so much, okay, listen, that there is no border, there's no so much head. There's no limit, okay, to so much the amount of rak'ahs, which probably so much is favorable is to do 11. So if you go to pray salat within here, within a different masajid, and the imam goes above 11 rak'ah, this is not a bid'ah. Wadah ya ibadallah, is it clear to me what I'm saying? Naam, barakallahu fikum. For bidalik, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us to so much, to welcome in the month of Shahr Ramadan, while we so much upon fasting, upon ta'ah, and we're seeking a blessing, and we do not leave out the month of Ramadan, and we are not forgiven for. As the Prophet ﷺ, he made dua against the person who so much meets the month of Ramadan, and he is not forgiven for. He made dua against the person. He said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so much when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entered him into the fire and cast him away from his mercy. And so at the time he was with Jibril alayhi salam, and when Jibril alayhi salam someone said this, the Prophet alayhi salam someone said, Ameen. Ameen. So take advantage of this month, ya ibadallah. وَاعْلَمُوا إِنَّ خَيْرَ حَدِيثِ كِتَابُ اللَّهِ وَخَيْرَ حَدِيثِ مُحَمَّدٍ صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وعليكم بالجماعة فإن يد الله على الجماعة من شد في النار عباد الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ورسولك محمد إمام المتقين وسيد المرسلين ورد على الخلفاء الأربعة أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وأسائر الصحابة أجمعين وعن التابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وعفو عنه بعفوك ورجولك وكرمك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين ودمر الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداءك أعداء الدين واحمي حوزة الدين اللهم انصر دينك وكتابك وسنة نبيك وعبادك المؤمنين اللهم بلغنا إلى شهر رمضان اللهم بلغنا شهر رمضان اللهم بلغنا شهر رمضان وجعلنا من عبادك المتقين صائمين محتسبين لرحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحانك ربنا رب العزة عما يصفون والسلامة على المسلمين وعلى المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
قامت الصلاة وإقامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استووا واعتدلوا. Sheikh Qasim, just let me know when it's time to Arman. Just let me know when we're ready to go. Now, brothers and sisters, check your shoulders first, and then after that, your heels, as that will affirm the fact that the line is straight. Barakallahu feekum. We're good? So, Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين وآخرين منهم من لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله ذو الفضل العظيم مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل الأسفار بئس مثل القوم الذين كذبوا بآيات الله والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. قل يا أيها الذين هادوا إن زعمتم أنكم أولياء من دون الناس فتمنوا الموت إن كنتم صادقين ولا يتمنونه أبدا بما قدمت أيديهم والله عليم بالظالمين. قل إن الموت الذي تفرون منه فإنه ملاقيكم ثم تردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون وإذا رأوا تجارة أو لهوا انفضوا إليها وتركوك قائما قل ما عند الله خير من اللهو ومن التجارة والله خير الرازقين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله عذابا الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala. Yes, sir, brothers and sisters, this evening will be the first day of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala definitely bless us to make it. So, inshallah, I guess we will start Taraweeh prayer tonight. Inshallah, we're going to start Taraweeh prayer here tonight, perhaps within the other local masajid as well. They'll be starting the month of Ramadan within Taraweeh prayer after Salat Isha, which is going to be like around 10 p.m. As for the classes, for what I have got from the administration so far, in regards to the Saturday classes, they have been they're canceled, correct?
No, we have classes.
Okay, so for further direction, I'm going to pass the microphone to the Imam. Barakallahu fikum.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam. Inshallah, we have everyday class at 6 o'clock, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal. Everyday class, after 6 o'clock, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal. And inshallah azza wa jal, if somebody wants to donate something for the iftar, he connected to Brother Qasim, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal. Jazakumullah khair.
How much is that? How much is it?